Welcome back to Top Dad Sports. Game week 17 of the Premier League is complete and it delivered drama from start to finish. Goals across the league, big results in the title race, huge wins in the top four battle, and massive points at the bottom. From Arsenal reclaiming top spot, Man City keeping the pressure on, to Liverpool winning away, and late drama everywhere. We're breaking down every match, every goal scorer, and what it all means going forward. This is your full Premier League Game week 17 roundup. Let's get into it. Let's start with where the weekend began. Newcastle United versus Chelsea. Newcastle took the lead with 2 goals from Nick Walter made, with great assists from Anthony Gordon. He was having a phenomenal game this weekend, Anthony Gordon, one of the best I've ever seen him played. But Chelsea fought back for a point at St James's Park. An entertaining draw sees both teams share the spoils in a lively affair. That finished Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2. I think Newcastle probably should have had a pen. I think Chalobah's tackle on him on Anthony Gordon in the box, it wasn't shoulder to shoulder. I feel like if that was closer into the box, if it had just got entered the box and it happened, it would 100% been a pen. I think he might have only got away with it because of the fact it was so close to the edge of the touchline and going out. I think is why maybe he didn't get given. But for me, as a Chelsea fan, I still going to say I think it was definitely a pen. We then get into the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Manchester City host West Ham. City delivered a clinical performance with Erling Haaland scoring twice and Reinders adding another. The win kept the pressure on Arsenal at the top of the table. That finished Man City 3, West Ham 0. Haaland is now on 19 goals in 17 games. He has to be one of the best finishers we've ever seen and are going to see for a long time. West Ham are now 5 points from safety and they face Fulham on the 27th of December, which for me is a must-win game now. Bournemouth versus Burnley. So Mayo gave Bournemouth the lead on the 67th minute and now puts him on 8 goals and 3 assists. Will he still be there at Bournemouth come the end of January transfer window? I think not. And if he does go, that's going to be a massive loss. Burnley kept battling and withstanding the pressure from Bournemouth to give them the chance to nick a point, and they did, when Broja managed to grab a last-minute equaliser to make it Bournemouth 1 and Burnley 1. That's 8 games without a win now for Bournemouth and sees them slowly falling down the table closer to a relegation battle. And like I said, if they do lose Samayo in January, where would that be? That could be huge for them. Burnley are now 7 points off from safety, and if I'm being honest, I don't see them getting out of the bottom 3 anytime soon either. Wolves versus Brentford. Keen Lewis Potter started with a brace to give Brentford a comfortable victory while Wolves' struggles continued. Brentford won 2-0. Keith Andrews is doing a really good job for Brentford and will be happy to be back on the winning ways as they hadn't won in the previous 4 fixtures. They now sit 12th in the Prem and 10 points from safety. Wolves, there's not much to say from them other than I think they will be beating the record of the lowest ever Premier League points in a season. They look so poor. I've never seen a team look so bad. They had a chance to get a goal in the end to make something and they missed it. That's the kind of season they're having. We then head over to Brighton versus Sunderland. Again, a boring 0-0 game. It was a tight, goalless stalemate at the Amex Stadium. Sunderland's resilient defending prevented Brighton from finding a breakthrough. And could we just have a massive shout out to how well Sunderland are doing this year? I must admit, I thought they would be one of the teams that goes down with all the transfers and all the signings they made. Sometimes it's quite hard to gel, but they've had a great season, and obviously they've missed a few players this week, and they're going to miss a few players from the African Cup of Nations. But I still think they're going to be good enough, and they've definitely had enough points now to make sure that they're going to stay in the Prem for next year. We then had the 5:30 kickoff, which was Tottenham versus Liverpool. Tottenham hosted Liverpool, and after a terrible performance at Nottingham Forest, this was a chance for Tottenham to make amends of that. But instead, they went down to 10 men after 33 minutes after Xavi Simons got himself a silly red card and put his teammates under pressure for the rest of the game. They managed to hold out for 0-0 to the second half, but then Liverpool took the lead in the 56th minute to a goal from Isak, but then unfortunately suffered a serious injury and had to be taken off. Ekatike then made it 2 on the 66th minute, and Liverpool was in cruise control until Richarlison made it 2-1, and Liverpool then became a team who just lost focus, and they looked panicked, but they managed to hold out and win the game 2-1. Tottenham ended up finishing the game with 9 men as Romero had a head loss and kicked out at Canate and then received his second yellow. His first yellow was bumping into the ref as well. So they've received 2 red cards. They're going to miss players now in the next few games for pointless red cards. Is the manager losing the dressing room there? Are they not listening to him? Or he needs to get control of that team and start to make them play for him again? Liverpool are now 5th, but they're tied with Chelsea in 4th on 29 points each. Tottenham are now sitting in 14th on 22 points. They're closer to relegation than they are to fighting for the title. Is it going to be another season like they had with Ange? We'll have to wait and see. Everton then hosted Arsenal. Arsenal reclaimed first place in the Premier League table ahead of Christmas thanks to a Victor Gyökeres penalty. Despite a tough away test, Arsenal did finish the game 1-0. Arsenal will be happy with that as they got the away win as they was coming into this game without a win in 3 away from home. If they wish to win the title, that record needs to change as it is not good enough. They are 2 points clear of Man City and 3 clear of Villa. Arsenal are home their next 2 fixtures, but they are against tough opponents. They face Brighton and then Villa in the space of 3 days. Obviously, the Villa and Arsenal one could end up being if Arsenal beat them, they go 6 points ahead. If Villa win, they could then all be on the same points. And obviously, at the moment, the way City are playing, they're in form. So Arsenal cannot afford to drop any points, in my opinion. Everton, they didn't really offer much. They really missed Dewsbury Hall and the 2 lads who have gone on international duty. All the pressure to create everything fell to Grealish, and for me, he had a poor game. We then come to the last game of the weekend, Leeds versus Crystal Palace. They were a surprise for me. I did not see this result happening. Leeds enjoyed a big win with Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring twice to help lift them further from the relegation zone. The score finished 4-1. If Leeds can carry on this form at home and then still a point here and there away from home, I think they will be safe. Calvert-Lewin is a must-stay fit for them as well, as he is scoring them a lot of goals now and is finally showing people how good of a striker he can actually be. Palace, they looked very sluggish, and I think they need to invest in January. The squad is not good enough or big enough to be able to compete in the Prem and in Europe. And they obviously play on tonight against Arsenal in the Cup, and I see them going out of that as well, which then shows they're on a bit of a losing streak. So for me, I think when January comes, they need to put their hands in their pocket and invest a bit of money into that team to give them a chance to actually do well in Europe and continue doing well in the Prem. We then had one fixture on Sunday, which was Aston Villa versus Man United. That finished 2-1 to Aston Villa, and the goal scorers for Villa were Morgan Rogers with 2 and Cunha for United. Villa took the lead just before half-time for a superb curling finish by Morgan Rogers. United capitalised then on a Villa error almost immediately, with Cunha scoring to level the game before the break. Early in the second half, Rogers struck again with another well-taken goal to restore Villa's advantage and ultimately win the game. The victory marked Villa's 10th straight win in all competitions and extended their remarkable form this season. Morgan Rogers was Villa's standout performer, scoring twice with technically excellent goals, clinical finishes that made the difference. Villa absorbed United's pressure at times but struck quickly when opportunities arose, especially exploiting space in transitions. Under Unai Emery, Villa are now very confident and cohesive, and they remain firmly in the Premier League title race, sitting just 3 points behind the leaders Arsenal going into Christmas. What a turnaround that is, considering how they actually started this season off. 3 or 4 games in, they hadn't even had a single point, so that's a massive well done to Aston Villa. United, their approach, they controlled the possession more than Villa, but they struggled to convert that control. They dominated it, but they just didn't do enough clear-cut chances and creating more chances and being clinical as what Villa was. United's high pressure did disrupt Villa at times, especially in the first half, but tactical discipline wasn't enough to stop Villa at the killer moments. Bruno Fernandes also left at half-time for an injury, weakening United's creativity and leadership. They were also missing several first-team players due to the African Cup of Nations, forcing the youth and rotation. But I think overall, Villa winning 2-1 was a fair result. And then on Monday Night Football, we had Fulham host Nottingham Forest. Fulham earned all 3 points thanks to a late first-half penalty converted by Raul Jimenez, his 11th successful Premier League penalty, equaling all-time 100% record in the competition. The penalty was awarded after a foul by Douglas Luiz on Kevin in the first half stoppage time. Apart from the spot kick, clear chances were limited for both sides, with very few shots on target and a generally scrappy game. Fulham's actual performance and approach, they were defended resolute, keeping a clean sheet despite limited possession and very few clear offensive opportunities. Their organisation and discipline were key. The veteran striker delivered when it mattered, converting the penalty calmly and proving decisive in a low-tempered match. Not free-flowing, not very fun. Fulham's overall attacking play was subdued and lack of fluidity, but they managed to protect their lead effectively. You could definitely tell they missed the likes of Iwobi and Bassi tonight. Forest rarely threatened to Fulham goal and were largely unable to turn possession into meaningful chances. While they had spells with the ball, Forest's attack moves didn't produce shots on target before half time, and their second half offered a few genuine opportunities. Despite recent signs of improved form under Saunders, Forest failed to break down Fulham's defence and lacked creativity in the final third. So what that now means on the title, not on the title, in the bottom of the table for these two, that win lifts Fulham up to 13th place, strengthening their position 10 points clear now of the relegation zone, heading into a busy festive period. Marco Silva's side are building momentum with 4 wins in their last 6 matches. Also, Forest now remains 17th, 5 points above the drop zone, but will be disappointed with their attacking efficiency and inability to take advantage of the match situation tonight. I feel tonight was a big chance for Forest to win. I think they had the better players, but Fulham managed to just hold out. They got their penalty and they got their win, and that's all they needed to do. The key takeaways from game week 17, title race and top 4. Arsenal are back at the top of the table after beating Everton. Man City remain close behind with a strong win and goals from Haaland keeping pressure high. Aston Villa remain right in the hunt after Morgan Rogers' double kept them close. The mid-table and the big results, Leeds boost survival hopes with a convincing victory. Liverpool win keeps them competitive in the top 6. The relegation zone fight. Fulham and now narrow win sees them edge further clear of danger. Forest now remain in a precarious position after defeat. Brentford's home win deepened Wolves' relegation misery, and obviously West Ham losing 3-0 to City. They are starting to actually become a team that you think, oh wow, are they actually going to be able to get out of this battle or not? They shouldn't be anywhere near this. They've got good enough players. They've got a manager who is a good manager, but they just don't seem to be getting anywhere near where they need to be at, and I can't see where they're going to get a victory anytime soon either. So they could actually now fall into being a team that shouldn't be relegated, but they look like they will. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. This is my first time trying to style a video like this, so please leave in the comments what I could do better, anything like that. Hope you like it. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.